Hi, I'm Susie, and lately, the last week, really, today is November 16th, 2024, and the past week or so on my YouTube feed, I've been seeing a lot of new people popping up talking about end times as pertaining to Jesus coming and the rapture, Antichrist, tribulation, all this stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of people having dreams, and a lot of them happened like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 4 years ago, but they're just telling about them now because they feel it on their heart that it's time to tell them. So when I'm watching these, a dream came to my mind, a few different ones, actually, a few dreams, but one in particular that when it happened, when I woke up that morning, it was very vivid, and I don't have a lot of vivid dreams. And really, I think all my vivid dreams um, came to me as I'm watching these couple of YouTubes, people having these dreams, because I don't remember very many of them. And there's only a few that really stick out when I wake up. And I think like that, it must have meant something because, it was so vivid, very clear. And I felt even when I woke up like I knew what it was talking about somewhat. Maybe I didn't have the full meaning, but a little bit of meaning. A couple of them I looked up online when they say, interpret your dreams and all, whatever. But I did want to share this one in particular that came to my mind, and it was definitely about the rapture. That's what I felt when it happened, while it was happening, while the dream was happening, and when I woke up. I felt like God gave me this dream, and it pertained to the rapture, um, that time that I think we're entering now, the tribulation, last days, and stuff. And I had this dream probably about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And I have thought of it from time to time, but never felt like telling anybody. And I thought, well, maybe it's time for me to tell this one too. It's not much, but it's the same kind of things that I'm seeing other people coming out with. So here it comes. So in the dream, um, I was here where I live now in Florida. And I had two people with me in the dream. One was a guy that I was seeing at that time, and he and I were getting serious, and we were making like long-term future plans and all that. And then there was this lady who I had recently become friends with in this neighborhood where I live now, and I was, getting pretty friendly with her. We were starting to hang out kind of often. So they were maybe the two closest people in my life at that moment in time that were actually, right there with me doing things and all. And so they were both in my dream. But weird thing is, these are people that I knew that I met in Florida, and that, my whole time being with them was in Florida. But the dream took place back in my hometown in Long Branch, New Jersey. And it was a familiar corner of Broadway and Liberty Street, if anybody's watching that knows that. And there was a store on that corner. I think it used to be, I'm thinking Scobie's Camera Shop or something, but that was, way, I mean, that was like many decades ago. So I don't know what it is now, or if it's still there or what's there. I don't know. But in the dream, we went into that building, and it wasn't a store. It was like it reminded me of like a bus stop or a train stop, like, like where you buy your ticket and you sit and wait until the train or the bus comes. And we went in there, and we had it, me and the guy and the lady, we were planning to go somewhere, and I'm thinking it was we were going somewhere that was supposed to be fun. We were just going to hang out for the night or whatever. And it was, I think it was like a concert we were supposed to be going to, and we were kind of excited about it, and we were going to take a bus, I think, or a train or something, or a taxi. I don't know, but we didn't have cars with us, and we went to the counter. I don't think there was anybody at the counter. I remember there was one or two people sitting there like waiting in the chairs, and we sat down to wait also, and then something happened, and we found out that the bus wasn't going to come, or whatever kind of ride it was. I think it was a bus or a taxi anyway. um, that it wasn't going to come. So we started talking about, well, I said, this is my hometown, right? I know we could walk. It's not really that far. I've walked this way many times when I was a kid, we could walk, and it would be down Liberty Street. Now, Liberty Street was the black section of town, which a lot of people wouldn't go there. They would just avoid it. But I was not ever one to avoid it, and my parents weren't either. They would drive right down there, and I never thought twice about it until I got older and I found out that some people avoided that street. But so I was used to it. And to get to where I lived from Broadway, from a lot of places in town, that was the quickest, best way to go, was straight down Liberty Street. But other people would go out of the way to avoid it. But anyway, it never bothered me. And even when I was in high school, because if I had to walk home from high school, I usually took a bus. If I had to walk home, that's the way I would go, down Liberty Street. And I walked that way many times with friends. And I know definitely once, maybe two or three times, I don't remember, but definitely once at least, that I walked alone because it just happened that I had to stay after school. I missed the bus. I didn't feel like waiting for the second bus, which would be like, another 30 minutes to wait. I'm like, I could get home in 30 minutes. I'm not waiting for the next bus. So I would walk home, and I would go straight down Liberty Street because I've done it many times. And I never thought twice about it. I never had any problem. I knew people that lived there. I knew I had black friends in school that lived down there and stuff. And, it never bothered me. Um, but like I say, a lot of people were scared of that section, that area. Um, I gotta say, one time me and my girlfriend were walking down there after dark, visiting a friend that lived there, and because we were the only white people around, I guess, but some little kids started throwing firecrackers at us, and we ran away. But I didn't think it was a real big deal because they were just little brats. That's, to me, it wasn't because they were black or whatever. And another time when I walked down by myself, and it was after school, it was in the afternoon, and somebody yelled out to me, "Hey, white girl, get off my street." And I looked up, and it was a girl I knew from school, and she was just laughing, cracking up, hanging out the window, yelling at me. So that was okay. Anyway, that's how I felt about the street. It was no big deal to me. But these two friends who were not from that area that were with me, in the dream, they were scared to go down there, and they said no way. They weren't going down there. I mean, they didn't even know the street. They weren't from that area. But when I said, "Let's go, let's walk, we could go. It's not that far." And they were like, "No way, we're not walking." It was dark out in the dream. And they just said, "No way." And the two of them, just kind of looked at each other, and just together they said, they were not going. And at that moment, that's when I knew. First, when I remember when I walked into that building, I got a weird feeling like this is strange, this is off, something's weird here. And there was nobody behind the counter, and there was like two people sitting there, like looking really sad and lonely, um, depressed. And it just didn't look right or feel right to me. And there was nobody else around, nobody else outside walking around, no cars or anything. So the whole thing gave me a really weird vibe in my dream. And then when my two friends that I was with said that they were not walking down that street, they weren't going there, which was our plan to go to this certain place for that evening. And they said, no way, we're not going. So I said, well, I'm going, and at that, but I felt like something was off. And when they said they weren't going, I knew what it was. I knew this was it. It was like almost like Judgment Day. I felt like this is it. This is what I've read about in the Word. I've read this in the Bible that, it's going to come, the time's going to come when people close to you are going to leave you, you know, even families will be divided because of Jesus. And and also about hard times, tribulations, scary times and all that stuff and the rapture, word isn't in the Bible, but the idea of it is. And so that's when it all hit me when they said we're not going. And I knew I had this really strong feeling like I'm going. I don't care. I have to go. That's when I felt and I knew that this was it. This is the time that I have to choose what's most important to me. My friends, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, and just stick with them, what they want to do, or I need to go by myself. If that's what it boils down to, I got to go by myself and I got to follow where I know I'm supposed to go. And I just said, okay, I'm going. See you later. And I knew in my heart in the dream that I wouldn't see them again. And I knew that I was doing what I had to do. And in the dream, I was a little bit scared about it because when I started walking, like I was going to walk out the door to start walking down Liberty Street. But when I went out the door, it wasn't the street, wasn't there. It was a hallway, like a wide hallway, like maybe like you would see in a hospital or some, really big type of federal office building or something, big wide hallway. And it was nice with a nice wooden floor and everything was shiny clean and there was nobody else there. There was windows on one side, there was windows at least, and it was just black outside. And I just started walking and I thought, well, this is weird because I never saw this hallway before. And I've been down Liberty Street many times. I never saw this hallway. I didn't know they had a walkway like this. I thought, well, it's kind of nice, it feels safe and nice and clean and everything. And I just started walking and I knew that I was going like to my destiny in the dream. So that's it. That's my dream. So I'm glad you watched. And I have a couple more that I felt like I was giving me a message, but not so much like definitely. This felt like definitely this was the end for me. And I was had to leave my friends to get there. And I think it's probably if I am meant to tell it at this time, like I am. I mean, I don't know if I don't feel like God like laid it big time on me that you got to tell this. But after seeing those other couple of videos that I saw, I thought, I thought of this and I thought, well, they're telling theirs, mine isn't all that much different. So I felt like maybe it's time that I should tell mine also. And I think that what it meant for me and if you are getting anything from this, it might mean it for you also. What I felt like that was that just the fact that the time's going to come when you might have to walk away and you might have to leave people that you love and that are close to you, that you might, people that your boyfriend, your husband, who knows, your best friend, whatever, people that you love to be with, the time might be now or very soon that you're going to realize you can't stay with them because they're going in another direction or they're not going or they're going backwards or they're staying still when God is calling you forward. He's saying, come on, trust me, come to me. That's how I felt in the dream. I felt like God was saying, you got to come this way. And, I felt safe. It felt weird, but it felt like I was doing what I needed to do. And I think that's the message that was in that dream. So, if that resonates with you, leave me a message, and thanks for watching, and God bless you.